think you're alienating people.
You're goddamn right I am. That's the whole point of everything that I've ever personally branded, is to come up with something that's very slightly impenetrable so that people will be alienated and so they won't engage with it. But for the few who do, those who stick around, they get the most out of it. Podcast about the glorious return of sports. My name is Bob, sitting across the way from my good friend and co-host. That's Abe. How you doing tonight, Abe?
Doing well, Bob.
Yeah, here we are. Lori's here too. How you doing tonight, Lori?
Good.
Sports. Lori's good. Tonight is Tuesday.
Wait, not just sports, college football.
College football in particular. August 19th, 2025. This is not just a college football podcast. It just happens to... I'm going to call this Season 2 of Cast Iron Balls. Season 2, Episode 39, for those keeping track at home. That's the...
We started when the 12-team playoff did.
Well, there you go. That'll be easy to remember 40 years from now. During
when we're at 50
season
teams.
41 of the Cast Iron Balls podcast.
How long have you guys been doing this? We'll say, I don't know, whenever the 12-team playoff started, and then people will go, oh, yes, 2024.
Like, wow. Yeah.
That's right.
Like you guys are old.
Well, we're old now. They'll know then, because we'll be really old.
Abe, it's time for the very most important part of Cast Iron Balls, which is Abe live bets the games. Now, there's no football yet, but there still is professional sports happening right now. It's 8:40 on a Tuesday evening. First pitch is being thrown in Colorado between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the dreadful Colorado Rockies. This is a gimme. This is an easy one to open up Season 2. Episode 39 of Abe Live Bets the Games. It was a dreadful performance by you last year. Jimmy Carter outperformed you from the grave. So I don't know if you want to try to fade the dominant Dodgers over the dreadful Colorado Rockies, but that's your game. You got to pick between the Rockies and the Dodgers tonight.
You don't want to overthink things. Obviously, the Dodgers are better. Why not go with a better team? I'm going to go Dodgers over Rockies.
Mark it. Dodgers over the Rockies.
You're brilliant. You're handsome. You're rich.
And the Rockies are, I don't follow them, but I hear that they suck big time. It's not just, like a bad stretch. They just suck.
Oh, yeah. Historically bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're here to discuss sports. As previously noted, we'll be here once or twice a week at a minimum. Discussing
when we feel like it.
The college football, mostly, along with other football news as it happens and whatever other sports things tickle our fancies. Let's go ahead and real quick before we get into the reason that we're here, which is a draft of we're going to do a fantasy quarterback draft to follow some quarterbacks in college football this year. Let's start with the WGAS Newsbag Sports Edition.
We can't just have a simple thing.
No,
and just get in and out and do a thing. We have to talk about news all the time.
He's always all about that. In and out. Headline, ESPN. Colts name Daniel Jones starting quarterback over Anthony Richardson. Abe, react.
So there is we're in the 3-year timeline for when the Colts are going to win a Super Bowl, right? It's not going to be this year. So it's not that important what happened this year. It's disappointing that Anthony Richardson could not beat out Daniel Jones, who's not particularly good.
But you say the 3-year. I mean, what you did was last year you made a $500 bet that the Colts would win a Super Bowl, either this next Super Bowl, the one following it, or the one after that. One of the next 3 Super Bowls, the Colts will be not just participants in,
winners
of. And it must be, your thinking at the time must have been Anthony Richardson is going to figure it out and become the dude. Because you cannot expect that they're going to either bring in a salty vet who's capable of bringing them to the promised land, or they're going to draft a new guy who is just immediately capable of delivering a Super Bowl.
So my confidence in Anthony Richardson, even before this irresponsible bet was made, was pretty low. But I was thinking either we'll find out if he's any good, or we'll find out that basically the experiment has failed, and front office will be cleared out, and the head coach would be fired, and then you would have 2 years to get a Super Bowl.
If
which
you
is not that.
if you lose the starting job to Danny Dimes,
Yeah.
does that mean that they've lost confidence in you and that you're
Yes, and I think like his agent, Anthony Richardson's agent, is saying that there's the trust is gone, and I think they're going to start to want to be shopped elsewhere. I don't know what sort of value
big time
he
market
has.
for Anthony Richardson
so
right now.
who knows? But now, like at least initially, until the wheels fall off, maybe it'll be week one. But Daniel Jones, he was Danny Dimes in New York, did not work out for him. So his new moniker should be, it's obvious, Indiana Jones and the
Danny
Temple of
Nichols.
Doom.
That's very
Right?
good.
So it'll be like, the defense or the Temple of Boom maybe.
Will
have
they
a very
pl-
strong defense.
The Temple of Boom, Indiana Jones
Will
and the
they
Temple
play
of
the
Boom.
theme music?
How long did you work with the robot to come up with that, Abe?
Will they play the Indiana Jones theme music?
It all depends. Like Daniel Jones has the capacity to fuck up immediately. Like we can be just one quarter
Because
away
those
from Anthony
eyes are too
Richardson.
close together. You can't wear the Indiana Jones
No, for
hat
quarterbacks that's
with
good.
those eyes close
No,
together.
for quarterbacks that's good because they're like,
Yeah.
looking.
That's true.
You don't want
He
your
gets-
quarterback to have too much peripheral vision.
No,
No.
that'd
He
be
gets
bad.
very skittish when players are near him. There's not a lot
Like,
to look
like, a
forward
You can't
to.
spooked,
see them.
like a spooked
Yeah.
horse.
Or
Oh,
like
shit.
antelope.
But he's got that that Super Bowl pedigree tight end that you're so excited about to work
still,
with, right?
Are you kidding me? Hall of Fame. This guy is okay. He's not better than Brock Bowers, but by this time next year, I'm going to say that.
How have the Colts? Besides Anthony Richardson proving himself to be less worthy than Daniel Jones, how has the preseason gone for the Colts?
Not very well, but it's the preseason. You're just kind of calibrating, fine-tuning things. This team is otherwise solid, besides the quarterback position, which is apparently important.
Yeah.
You know who's been having a really good preseason? Stetson Bennett. That's who.
Oh man, glad he came back from whatever he had.
Go ahead and
last
doubt
year.
him again, Bob.
I have such confidence that he will not be a successful NFL quarterback.
How do you measure success? He's doing just fine.
He's doing just fine in the preseason against like 90 dudes who will not be on
Yeah, but what's
NFL
his
rosters
paycheck, you
in
think?
2 weeks.
Define success.
You're arguing with me that he's because he's getting paid to be a backup in the NFL, he's going to be a great NFL quarterback.
No, I'm arguing that is what success is for Stetson Bennett.
I'm very happy for Stetson Bennett. I just
Me too.
refuse to acknowledge that he's actually good at being a quarterback. He's fine at being a quarterback.
I would trade him for Anthony Richardson right now.
Yeah, he'd be a great backup for Danny Dimes. You know who else is having a good spring or autumn camp or whatever they call it, this summer camp here? Is Jackson Dart of the New York
that's right.
Football Giants.
Yeah.
Apparently has looked pretty good.
Is there any hope in him? Do you think he's going to amount to much?
I mean, I really don't.
JAXSON, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. But
It is with an X, right? But yeah, to be fair, he did not name himself. So
I saw some social media stuff where I got in my Google feed. The worst thing about a Google feed.
It is. It's XSON.
Yes, that's correct. Is when I get these crap articles from I don't know, like Parade magazine or like People or something, like old like legacy print magazines that now just publish pure garbage as clickbait. And if it's sports related, sometimes it shows up in my Google News feed, and it's like, you won't believe
don't
what
click on
got
those.
posted on social media. And it's like I got some Jackson Dart has a hot mom content
Okay.
pushed into my social media.
I wonder what
Google
made
feed.
your algorithm think you might click on that.
Obviously, because I'm such a dedicated Giants fan,
That's
and
right, that's what it
dedicated
is.
Giants fans need to know if their quarterback of the future has got a hot mom.
Is his mom older or younger than us?
Oh, that's a
I'm
good
sure
question.
she's got to be a couple of years older than us.
I don't know. Maybe.
Should I ask the robot?
No. I mean, if you want the robot to think you're interested in it, fine.
Look, the things that the robot thinks or knows I'm interested in, we're well beyond any sense of modesty or decency with regards to that. Let's see here. Hey, Gemini, how old is Jackson Dart's mom?
I couldn't find her age online. You might be able to find it on social media, like Instagram.
What?
It doesn't know.
She's a mystery.
She's ageless.
That only makes
She's older
things
than us.
all the more interesting. I think she's older than us, yeah. All right. Also in the WGAS news bag here ahead of the college football season, I thought it would be worth looking at any relevant rule changes that are coming to our beloved sport. Officials will be cracking down on college football players who feign injuries. The number of overtime timeouts will be reduced, and referees will use different verbiage when announcing the results of video reviews. Combating the practice of player injuries or faking injuries to stop the game clock was an off-season priority for the NCAA Football Rules Committee. Beginning this season, if a player on the field presents as injured after the ball is spotted for the next play, that player's team will be charged with a timeout. If the team does not have timeouts remaining, a 5-yard delay of game penalty will be assessed. The player must also remain out of the game for at least one down, even if the team is granted a timeout, and may not return until receiving the approval of a medical professional.
Is this going to be obviously a judgment call on the ref's
Yes.
part, right? When someone is faking an injury.
Right, and
It also has something to do with if it's
I'm sure
after
Abe
the
and
ball is set.
yeah, if the ball is set and then the player
So
goes
if it's
down,
like
yeah.
the play is over and the guy's writhing around on the ground, that's fine. Just
Right.
time your fake injuries.
Right. I mean,
properly.
you've seen some obvious examples of that where, like, sometimes
Yes, I watched
the-
Ole Miss
on,
play football last year. You're right.
on the sideline, you'll see some like assistants like giving the gesture of like go down to like one of the players, and they're like, and they just kind of just suddenly injured, or they're out of breath.
as though a sniper has suddenly
Yeah.
shot them from
Oh, I don't know if
the upper deck.
that's appropriate.
Speaking of snipers, they have also made it official: all forms of gun violence are not permitted. I like that they feel that they have to make that clear, that there will be no gun violence at NCAA football games this year. And simulating the firing of a weapon is an automatic unsportsmanlike foul. This year, if a player simulates the act of brandishing a weapon, it is considered an unsportsmanlike act.
Is it
I thought it
written?
already was.
I thought, yeah. I wonder if
it's a. I think previously it fell under the umbrella of. Again, judgment calls, right? Like if the referee who witnessed the act decided that it was an unsportsmanlike act, then he could throw the flag. But now it's any time you see, and I feel like they didn't get away with it last year at any point. I don't remember seeing guys do we're going to mow down the competition with our Tommy gun and not get the call on them.
There was, I think it was the NBA, Morant, John Morant, this player who plays for the Grizzlies, just like a knucklehead, right?
Isn't he
would
the
do,
idiot who already had gun charges against
Yeah,
him?
he in real life had gun charges against him, and then he would do gun-related gestures similar to, I guess, what they're trying to crack down in college football. And I think I guess the language was like, you can't do the gun stuff, right, in any kind of way. And I think the game after that, he lobbed a grenade towards the stand. So I wonder, like, if in college football they're going to do like a bow and arrow thing or like a tomahawk, something that's not covered.
Well, they
in
already
the current
do
language.
the sheathing of the sword, right? Like
Yeah.
they do that.
But it
Yeah.
looks like they're putting a seatbelt on, so they're just promoting safe driving habits.
Do you have a problem? Abe, you mentioned this is a judgment call issue.
Yeah.
I'm sure you and Lance Kiffin will both have a problem with the judgment call aspect of this rule, right? Like, how can you possibly know?
Right, but I think basically it'd be like a lot of context clues. Like if the other team is driving and it's to their benefit that the game continue, and then you try to stall it without calling a timeout, or maybe you don't have any timeouts. Like, I think it'll be in those specific situations. And so far, they should just at least initially just pick the most obvious, like clear and like just obvious. Like don't do any like it could go either way. You don't want to cause any controversy. You want to build trust with the public and the players. Like say like only when it's very obvious are we going to call it, and then you can go from there.
All right, I'm thinking of a coach in college football who would be spiteful enough to do the following, which is they get the 5-yard delay of game penalty called on them for feigning an injury, and that coach goes over to the player who has been accused of feigning an injury and does a violence to him, so that he is then then in the post game they can say, no, look, he really did have a broken toe, and you'll see some fan video of the interaction between coach and player on the sideline
Shane Beamer,
where the coach has stomped on the player's foot in order to break the toe. Lori's going with Shane Beamer, not who I was thinking of, although
I'm thinking of Brian. I'm thinking
answer.
Brian Kelly.
Yes, Brian Kelly is who I was thinking of.
well, Shane Beamer would do it out of love, and Brian Kelly would do it out of hate.
Yeah. All right. So clearly the NCAA has now incentivized coach-on-player violence because of the spiteful nature of the college football coach.
But, as difficult as it may be to enforce, at least I do get it. Like, you don't want, people to be exploiting this. And all of this comes down to bad behavior. Like, you have to have all these rules because people always take advantage.
Bad acting and bad timing is what it comes down to. Because all
right.
you have to do is plan before this play.
Right.
All right. This other rule change might be called the Georgia Tech overtime timeout rule change. In overtime, each team will continue to be allowed
It's
one
the Kirby Smart Georgia Tech timeout rule change.
one timeout in the first and second extra periods. After the first 2 overtime periods, each team will be allowed only one timeout for the remainder of the game.
Oh, wow.
Previously, a team was allowed one timeout in each overtime period, regardless of how many were required to decide a winner. And as I recall, Kirby did take advantage of that.
It was every
I
time.
think in all 8 overtimes.
It was awful. This is a great change.
And they're going to.
Yes.
I think that they won't go to media timeouts after the second overtime either. I think that they're like, look, you don't get any breaks, no rests. Get your asses out there and decide this thing.
Right.
After video reviews, if the ruling on the field is not overturned, referees will announce that the call is upheld. Previously, the referee would say if the call was confirmed, if video showed the call was correct, or stands if there was no clear and obvious evidence to overturn the ruling. And if the call is changed following the review, the referee will describe the reason why. What I most look forward to based on this is because every time I heard a referee say upheld would say confirmed versus stands, we would get the explanation from the play-by-play guy to say, well, you know what that means. It stands because they didn't have video evidence to overturn it. Right. But it's confirmed because they were able to prove definitively based on the video. And it's like, okay, guy, that's literally the 11th time I've heard this just today.
Some of us watch a lot more football than others.
So I look forward to them explaining that upheld doesn't mean anything in terms of whether or not they confirmed it based on the video evidence. That seems like a good change, right?
That's good. They made some good changes this year. Not too bad.
Right. On kick returns, if any player on the receiving team holds out his arms to make a T, like they do that thing where they stand there and they put their arms out, the team gives up any right to make a return and the play will be whistled dead. Because they would do this. And
people
the
are
idea
exploiting,
You're signaling to your teammates that you're not going to return it. And so the opposing team is like, this asshole's not going to return it. But then you would catch it anyway and then run with it, so it's not safe.
Would this have prevented that time, I guess, 2 years ago, when that guy did not signal anything and kind of casually caught the ball and moseyed?
No, you can mosey all you want.
Okay, good, because I like that. Abe didn't.
There should not be any opportunity to take advantage of somebody else being kind to you, right? So, like, remember,
They weren't being
I don't know
kind. They were being,
if-
what's the opposite of vigilant? Lazy?
No, but basically, they don't want to hurt you. You don't like somebody get. I mean, a lot of these things are
they
there
all
for
want to
safety.
hurt you. They don't want a 15-yard penalty for hurting you.
Correction. I don't know if they cleaned this up, but wasn't there a couple of years ago that fucking asshole who was running, I think with a quarterback, and he pretended to slide
dive,
or whatever, and then the because he knew that the defender, like, to avoid a penalty, let up
No,
a
fake
bit, and
dive
that
is
was
different
enough
than this.
to take advantage. And so, like, I do like this new trend of
Who
trying
was
to
that low
clean up
character motherfucker? Was that a Clemson
Pitt-
or a Georgia? It was
Pittsburgh or
Pitt?
something.
Yeah.
It seems like
No.
it's one of those Pittsburgh kind of.
It was, what was the, I mix him up because there was a guy whose last name was Pitt, and then there was a Pitt quarterback that was also good.
I'm not sure it matters. All right, the defensive shifts are going. Like they're going to be like how Georgia does that thing where they all jump around on the line of scrimmage. I think this is in that direction.
Kenny Pickett. That's who I was thinking of.
Any
Pitt
defensive
quarterback. God.
Very, very good, Lori. Any defensive player within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage, stationary or not, may not make quick and abrupt or exaggerated actions that simulate action at the snap in an obvious attempt to make the offense commit a penalty. The offense will be held to the same standards as any pre-snap movement that simulates action at the snap is a foul on the offense for a false start. So I don't know if they're going to call Georgia for our line shifts or not, but it seems to give permission to the referees to possibly call that on us, which I don't love.
Okay, so just to be clear, because in the past, the way it was, the offense has the advantage of knowing when to snap, and sometimes they'll do like a hard count or they'll do other things to draw the defense offsides. And so that's their advantage. And then the defense, their advantage is that they can shift and move, whereas the O-line has to be stationary, at least right before the ball is snapped.
Right.
But now they're saying that the defense is a double disadvantage to where
You may
the
not
offense-
make quick and abrupt or exaggerated actions that simulate action at the snap. So I think you must still be permitted to shift.
What if you're showing you're threatening or you're presenting blitz, and then you're like a secondary that comes up to the line, presenting blitz, and he's actually gonna fall back.
But you can't do the fake jump over the line. I guess at that point, you can approach the line.
Yeah, this seems to be we're in muddy waters here. It's kind of hard to determine. I would like to see a call be ruled.
Oh, don't
Yeah,
worry.
we will.
Against Auburn, we will have 3 of them called against us. for
Speaking
some
of which, did you see
nonsense reason.
that, first of all, Auburn is claiming a national title from some fucking year ago? That happened today.
That's amazing.
And the Georgia game at Auburn, they're retiring Cam Newton's number.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't like it.
The Cam Newton one makes sense. Just like we have
No,
9
I'm fine
titles
with them
now.
retiring his number. It's that
Yeah,
they're doing it for
when
the
they're
Georgia
doing it.
game
Okay,
that
yeah,
I don't
that's
like.
true, yeah.
All right, and then last thing here: defense may not have more than 11 players on the field when the ball is snapped. That's always been a thing. The infraction is treated as a live ball foul and is a 5-yard penalty. If this occurs after the 2-minute timeout in either half, the offense will have the option to reset the game clock back to the time displayed at the snap. The
So
game
this
clock
is the Dan Lanning.
will then restart on the next snap. Yes, this is to prevent what Dan Lanning, evil genius, allegedly did against
Old-timey bank robber.
Ohio State last year, which
Wow.
was to get a too many men on the field penalty called on him in order to fuck with Ohio State's ability to get plays off.
Was there a change in leadership in the rules committee in college football? Whomever's taken over, boy, busy off season. They cleaned up a lot of last year's issues just in one go. Usually it takes a while for these things to kind of go through the process. It'll have to happen a couple times, in a high.
It's the internet age.
But yeah, they're getting after it.
I think that's all I've got out of the WGAS Newsbag Sports Edition for tonight. We will now move on to our. You want to do the draft right now, or should I do
What's the other option?
the best game in every time slot? Because there are games this weekend.
Yeah, but how many?
2.
I mean, I don't care. You do whatever you
All right.
want.
It's now time to discuss the best game in every time slot. There's only one day of games this
Like,
weekend.
how many time slots?
There are, let's see. There are 5 games in week 0, Saturday, August 23rd, 2025. The best game in the 2 relevant time slots that it will be worth having your television on are that noon kickoff on ESPN, number 22, Iowa State against number 17, Kansas State from Dublin, Ireland. Kansas State is the 3-point favorite.
I know it's one of these years. Was it last year, the year before, or the year before that Florida State and Georgia Tech
That was
played.
last
That was
year.
last year.
That was
Florida
just last
coming
year.
off their
Okay.
nearly perfect season, and Georgia Tech beat them, and everyone was like sort of
Okay.
surprised and delighted. And then Florida State had the worst season ever.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow, that was
that
just
was
last year. That's remarkable.
Yeah. And then the only other game worth watching on Saturday is going to be the nightcap at 7:30. Stanford playing at Hawaii. And Hawaii is the 2.5-point favorite at home. I mean, I guess if you're really hard up, you could watch at 4 o'clock Idaho State at UNLV or Fresno State at Kansas a couple of hours after that. But don't be that hard up.
Yeah.
It's just
And-
week 0.
yeah. You'd have to have like a quarterback you're rooting for, like
Yeah.
monetary interest, you know.
You can root for the quarterback without watching them, though.
That's
and then,
true, yeah.
And then the following week, starting on Thursday, there are no fewer than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Thursday, there are 3 games.
17 games on Thursday the 28th. 17 games.
There are,
Good
I
Lord.
think there are actually also games on Wednesday. We just don't get to watch them.
There are 11 games on Friday. And then, obviously, a whole mess of games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday, and 1 game on Monday, September 1st. So we have quite a lot ahead of us once we get past this week 0 thing.
That's the Labor Day Monday, right? Labor Day weekend.
Yes.
That's right. And that would be our last NFL-free weekend of the year, correct?
Yes.
Sure.
Because
the
the
following.
NFL Week 1 kicks off that next weekend.
Yeah.
All right, so that was easy. That wraps up the best game in every time slot. I guess you can watch those games if you want. You don't need a second TV even. We don't have to bring the second TV up during week 0. And that makes me like week 0 a little bit more now that I think about it. Lori, we are now
That
going
makes me
to...
like you a little bit less. What are you asking me?
We are now going to do the quarterback draft. Why don't you explain
Okay.
what the hell it is we're doing here?
So, plan is we each pick 5 total quarterbacks. We each get 1 from each Power 4 conference, SEC, ACC, Big 10, Big 12. Unless we want, for some reason, a Notre Dame quarterback, we have to replace one of them with Notre Dame. We also, for the 5th one, need a group of 5 or other at-large non-Power 5 quarterback. When we are drafting quarterbacks, we are drafting the quarterback room. So if that quarterback gets injured or benched, you're not 0 for that week on that guy.
Okay.
So you're drafting sort of the quarterback room, but sort of the quarterback. 1 from each conference, 1 not from any of the conferences. That's your team. We'll each have the same amount of bye weeks. So when you have a bye week, you just don't get points for that person that week, and that's okay.
And this will run through what? The last week of the season? Like not
the-
championship weekend?
Not champion. No, it ends when the regular
Although,
season ends.
If one of us were to draft Army or Navy quarterback situation, we would need to wait for that last
Yeah.
game of the season to determine a
but
champion.
still, but they get a different. It's still this. It's not an extra
Sure,
game.
same number of games. It
Same
could-
number
it
of
could
games.
Potentially present an exciting situation, though. There. Where-
Yeah. So as far as scoring, Andy and Ari do 6 points per passing or rushing touchdown and 1 point per passing or rushing yard. But you guys,
I'm fine with that. Sounds reasonable to me.
it's very simple.
I would like to punish them for turnovers, though.
Yeah. Picks
Okay,
and, yeah.
but so the problem with that
I
is
see no problem
sometimes
with
it's
that.
not their fault.
Oh, who cares? That's
I
part of the
care.
That's part of the situation here. Abe, when was the last time an interception was not the quarterback's fault?
It's always the quarterback's fault. Also, it should be noted, yaks exist. Sometimes a quarterback will throw it for like 3 yards, and then the receiver will do 80 yards worth of work.
Especially in the college game, where
Okay.
it seems like on a Georgia team, for example, 80% of our
Okay.
fucking plays are wide receiver screens.
So,
right?
how
so
do
like
you
how
wanna
much
deal
is the
with that?
quarterback actually contributing to that? You deal with it by saying an interception is at least a -2, if not more than that, right?
I'm letting you decide this.
I think an interception is a -2 and a lost fumble is a -2.
That works.
And
yeah.
I kind of
Wait.
I kind of
Is
want to
that-
punish sacks too.
Okay, but wait. No, that is not the quarterback's fault. That's the offensive line's fault. My problem is, am I going to be able to find these? I can find interceptions, but can I find lost fumbles
Oh yeah.
easily?
For a quarterback, it'll
Yeah.
show up in the quarterback stats. If
Okay,
if
that's
he
because I
fumbles,
just
right?
want it to be easy to plug in.
I think so, anyway.
Okay, if it's not, then I'm not doing it.
I mean, if we're not going to punish sacks, then I think we have to punish fumbles, right?
I think one or the other is fair, I guess. Although,
Either way, we're punishing interceptions because there's no way that I'm going to
Okay.
have a
We'll punish
situation where
interceptions.
somebody throws 4 picks and Abe just doesn't have to hate the guy. That's not
Right.
okay.
yeah, okay.
All right.
You know what's
Okay.
interesting about this format? I'm just thinking about it now. Is like you don't necessarily need to pick the best quarterback because if they're going up against a very tough schedule, you can get some bum who's got like some Liberty University quarterback who's got some garbage opponents because all yards are equal, all touchdowns are
Yep.
equal.
Also, I like that every week you're not having to think about, oh, who should I sit and start?
Right,
Like
yeah.
that you're deciding now
that-
who
yeah.
your team is, and that's your team.
Yeah, set it and forget it. Yes,
All right.
great.
So, how are we going to determine draft order? And should we redetermine the draft order for every round? Because there's only 3 of us. So, I feel like a snake would be kind of unfair. Or do you want to
somebody
take
could-
turns? So,
yeah.
there's 5 rounds. So, whoever goes first, we go. I pick first in round. If I roll the 6 or whatever, I pick first in round 1. And then whoever's behind me picks second in round 1. And then the last person picks third in round 1. And then we just shift and we just keep going so that like whoever picks second picks first in round 2 and whoever.
I think you're overcomplicating it.
What do you think, Abe?
I mean, the snake would not be. I mean, I understand the drawback, but it's a much simpler process, and it's not like
I mean, whoever's in the middle gets a little fucked.
right. And the way that it's like contained, like basically you have to pick whomever from the SEC, whomever from the Big Ten. So like we may not necessarily be always competing for the same quarterback.
All right, so you want to just snake?
Yeah, the snake seems to be pretty straightforward.
All right, I'll go to rolladie.net. Now I'm going to pull up a D6 here. And I'm going to roll a die for me
Okay.
or for Abe or for Lori.
All right, do it for you.
I don't know. Should I roll for me first? That feels
my
weird.
God.
All right, I'm going to roll for me. Here we go. My roll is a 5. Eat
Okay.
shit, assholes. All right.
Okay, now do Abe.
Now I'm going to roll for Abe. You ready, Abe?
Born ready.
Abe gets a 1.
Are you sure he didn't get a 5?
The-
I heard 2 clicks.
I don't think I clicked it the first time was the problem.
Okay,
Oh,
well now do me.
chicanery.
Rolling for Lori. A 2.
Okay, so Bob and then me
I
and
get
then
the
Abe.
number 1
So
overall
yeah, I
pick.
get a little fucked because I'm in the middle, and you each get 2 at a time.
I
But
mean, that's what
whatever.
happens when you're in the middle.
It's fine. I don't care.
All right. I pick first. I wasn't planning on having the number 1 overall pick in this
I
draft.
know. I feel so bad for you. I'm sorry. Bob loves every draft Bob has ever done. Bob has won the draft despite inferior positioning.
I will say
in the draft.
I usually back that up. When I have insisted that I have won the draft in the past, I usually then go through at the end of the season and prove that I had
Yeah,
the best
I
draft,
know.
even if my team didn't actually win. I see no way around this pick, and I think that it has the advantage of being my number 1 overall pick in that I could hate this team for the season if things don't go well, and it will feel good to hate this team.
Right.
So I'm perfectly fine with making this pick. It would be probably the consensus number 1, I think, if you were to do this among smart draft knowers, that sort of thing. I'm going with Cade Klubnik
Yeah, that's the right answer.
of the Clemson Tigers is going to be my my number 1 overall pick
Nice.
here. In theory, they should have a fairly killer fucking offense this year. And the main concerns about that team are the defense and whether or not, because I think they brought in, did they bring in a new DC?
I don't know.
I think Clemson brought in a new DC.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a good question.
And for all the talk about Yabo Dabo not being willing to play dirty pool with the rest of college football these days, they seem like they're fairly well loaded and actually ended up looking, that offense anyway, looked pretty great after the first month or so of the season last year. So I feel good. Cade Klubnik, Clemson, number 1.
Nice.
Okay. Now I have to go.
And that eliminates that's my ACC spot,
Yes.
obviously.
Yeah.
So I'm going between Julian Sayin because he's throwing to that maniac.
This
That
is the Ohio
was a
State quarterback, right?
Yeah, the Ohio State receiver. I don't remember his name.
Yeah. Jeremiah, what's
Yeah,
his face?
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do Julian Sayin.
So Julian saying unproven at this level, right?
But,
has thrown very few passes.
yeah, we haven't seen him,
Don't know anything about him.
but also they play so many shitty teams
Yeah.
that
And presumably they'll put up a bunch of points.
yeah.
And didn't they lose their backfield? Like, isn't their running back was a stud who's not back, right? And so they're going to be relying more on their wide
Who's that?
receivers.
What's his name?
Well, they have like 4.
Jeremiah
It-
Smith.
Yeah,
Exactly. They have like 4. They're always good at wide receiver, and this is my way of that. Also, they play a shitty schedule. Okay, Abe.
All right, so I'm gonna go with I don't believe in this guy either, but that Penn State quarterback, Drew Aller.
Drew Aller, huh?
Yeah.
Not quite a dark horse, but a lot of people are picking them as perhaps the best team in the country this year, or the team, because they're the team that returns a ton of talent, the same way that, say, Michigan and Ohio State have over the last couple of years, where more seniors than usual are back for this Penn State team. The argument being made is like they came back and they're fucking hungry and they're ashamed of their failures up to this point. And the problem with that whole theory is that they're still coached by James Franklin, who's a petulant little asshole of a man who no one likes for good reason.
Yes.
Abe again.
Also, I don't know if I trust, like, having watched a lot of Drew Aller over the last couple of years, I don't think he's like the dude. Like, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
he'll
don't-
throw
the whole team
25
is not the
touchdowns
dude.
and 8
Yeah.
picks or something. He might have a solid year. It's
Yeah.
probably there's a very low floor to the Drew Aller pick, I think, there.
And the no Hall of Fame tight end for him to throw it to, but he'll figure it out. All right, so the next pick I want to pick out of the ACC.
I want to pause you here just for
Yeah.
1 second. So you two have gone 2 Big Tens,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So now I don't have to worry about the Big Ten.
Correct.
Right.
That can go to the back of my priority list here
Yeah.
at
Yes.
this point. All right, interesting. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
God, do I want to follow Georgia Tech on here? Yeah, basically with either King or Beck. I'm gonna go with Georgia Tech's Haynes King.
Nice. Haynes King, who has the advantage of probably procuring a lot of yards on the ground, in addition to being a surprisingly prolific passer. Looking at the numbers, I think he threw for it's like almost 3,000
He was
yards that
very
he threw
good
for last year?
Yeah, yeah.
He's very
He
good.
almost beat
if he
Georgia.
if he stays healthy, I think that is that's a solid pick. He was not among my top 3 in the ACC though.
It was. I should have gotten tickets because they're coming here to Atlanta. The Clemson Georgia Tech game in a few weeks. I should have gotten it. It's probably too expensive now. But yeah, should be good.
Is it when is that game happening?
I think it's that September 11th weekend.
All right, Clemson will maybe like lose a stupid game, but in the first week or 2.
Well, they literally have that big game against LSU.
All right, so Abe's got. Are you writing these down, Lori? Who's got
Yeah.
who? All right, cool.
How dare you?
All right, so Lori now doesn't have to worry about the ACC. She can whoever was
I
her
wasn't.
ACC quarterback, she can save for the end.
Yeah. So now I don't know which SEC quarterback I want. That's is obviously 2 that. Well, there's 3.
I've got 4 on my list.
There's 3 that I would select, but I know who Abe loves, and I love Abe, so he is not an option.
Wait, you're precluding you're not going to take a guy that you like because you don't want to be
I
mean
like
to
3
Abe.
of them.
Abe has had an opportunity
I
just
like
a moment
3
ago
of them.
to select Lenora Sellers if he really wanted Lenora Sellers, and instead he took his Abe is Lenora Sellers is Abe's dark horse apparently in the according to the other podcast to take Scar to the playoffs. He shit all over Lenora Sellers just moments ago, and instead took a wretched techie.
Yeah, I know, but I still love Abe. I'm not going to do something that would piss him off on purpose. So the question is, do I want to root for Garrett Nussmeier or John Mateer more? And as much as I love LSU as a program, I want them to do poorly so that Brian Kelly gets fired. So I will choose John Mateer, who all of the talking sports people think is very good.
Yeah, Lori taking the Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer, new to the program, and was my number 2 overall pick. The person that I was
Really?
going to select here.
If you had voiced that, maybe I wouldn't have. But you think you're so tricky keeping things to yourself.
I'm not being tricky. I didn't know anything about John Mateer until like
Oh, he's supposed to
3:30
be
this
very good.
afternoon. So
Oh, you saw some highlight you liked?
I wasn't hiding anything.
So
I just
also,
literally
you
didn't
guys
know until a few
missed
hours
the
ago.
John Mateer news about the gambling and the Venmo because we weren't doing this.
that's right.
So
It
you
was-
missed a whole thing.
That's right. Well,
He keeps his
had like
Venmo public.
yeah, that's pretty dumb. He had like some explanation, like, "Oh, that didn't mean
Lori,
what
you
you
should
thought it meant."
explain. You can't just say you missed the thing about the thing and then not
Just
explain what the
did.
fuck happened.
We're in the middle of a.
No, explain that this is an opportunity. I don't know shit about Oklahoma
told
football,
you.
except that guy, that coach, might be a bum, and nobody's quite sure or not. And so now he's got a quarterback, and like if this doesn't work out with Mateer, presumably they're going to give him the old heave ho by the end of the season.
Yes.
But if you got anecdotes, now's the time.
So someone on the internet, I don't know, found a Venmo transaction from John Mateer to some friend of his, and the what do you call it? Like the explanation, the
Yeah,
comment on
yeah.
it was like gambling on sports.
What was the amount of the
Hold on, it was
transfers?
like $20.
So when you're viewing it in public, you can't see the actual dollar amount. Only the people that gave each other the money, but everybody can see the
gotcha.
comments. Everybody can see whatever emoji or word or whatever you use.
I
Yeah.
cannot imagine making my Venmo transactions public, and why you would do that.
Sports
I-
gambling is what it
Okay.
was.
I think
And the issue is that it was during college football season. It was November 20th, 2022.
okay, so it tracks
So
with
it's
him
like,
possibly betting
ugh,
on.
yeah.
Yeah. I used
Anyway,
I
that
not-
happened. So he's
Yeah.
on my team now.
Yeah. And he said that he wasn't gambling. That's just a thing that he and his friends.
He said he was joking.
Yeah. I in the past, to lend credibility to his bullshit story, in the past, whenever I would write something, I would usually write like totally legal activity, like kind of,
Yeah.
and nobody would think any different. So maybe there's like an inside joke between him and his friends.
All right, so that was pick number 5 in our draft, correct?
I don't know. Does it matter?
It sort of does. I'm trying to figure out. All right, so we have 2 ACC quarterbacks gone, 2 Big Ten quarterbacks gone, and 1 SEC quarterback gone at this point.
Yeah.
So I get the 6th pick here. Let's see. I think I kind of want to leave the SEC to let fate decide, because I don't know among who I have left who really stands
Fate?
out.
Or Abe.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Abe's going to take Lenoris, presumably, unless he's been putting us on for like the last month. It's all a
whole
big
ruse.
ruse. He doesn't actually want Lenoris Sellers.
For Haynes King, this whole fun.
And I don't have to worry about the ACC. I don't have to worry about the Big
Why
Ten.
not? I haven't. Oh, did I?
No, I have already chosen my ACC
Oh,
quarterback.
got it.
2 have already been taken out of the Big Ten. I think I'm going to go, because of this weird format here, where I don't have to actually worry about taking the best option on the board, I'm going to take Sam Levitt out of Arizona State right now.
Dang it.
I was high on Arizona State coming into the season. I like this Sam Levitt guy. He played really well as the season wound down last year. It's an exciting offense with the child coach that they've got out there.
He is a child.
So yeah, give me Sam. I don't even know. Is it Levitt or Leave It?
I like it's Levitt, but it looks like
What I'm not
leave it,
gonna
and I
do-
like the idea of just leave it.
I'm not going to leave it for Abe. I'm going to take Sam Levitt for myself.
Thank you. Good.
And that makes it Lori's turn to pick. I think I know what's going on with Abe and not taking Lenoris too. I think I know where
Wait,
he's.
no,
I know where
Bob-
else he's looking.
No, Bob, you have another pick.
Yeah, you have another pick, right?
Oh, it's my turn to go again.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Man, that's exciting. Forgot about the nature of the snake draft.
You were poo-pooing it a second ago.
All right, I'm going to go Blake Horvath of Navy as my third pick.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to the group of 5. I'm taking the Navy quarterback. I'm going to hope that he once again rushes for like 47 touchdowns or whatever it was that he did last year. Don't expect him to throw for a ton, but he does throw for more than your traditional Navy quarterback does, as I recall. I'll just get that out of the way with
Okay.
group of 5 there.
All right, me.
Did you have Sam Levitt on your list there, Abe? Is that what?
Yes, he was my number 1 Big 12 guy.
Mine too. It's a good thing we're not doing this live. I feel like I'm playing me in chess or
Isn't it
Scrabble.
super fucking annoying? I'm gonna do Becht from Iowa State from the Big 12. Rocco Becht.
So I was looking at Rocco Becht, and he did not make my top 3 of choices there for precisely one reason. How many times during the year do I look at the ticker on the like the score there, and it's like Iowa State is involved in a game that has 9 points in it scored total between the 2 games? And I know like that's an old way of thinking. I think that it's not quite so much the case anymore. But I read a couple of things about Rocco Becht. It's like, yeah, he's going to have a great year, and he's pretty good. And I was like, my old biases against Iowa State football prevented me from including him on my list.
Yeah, it's Iowa football that has the low scoring games. I like the name. I like that it sounds like Beck, but it's not. It's a little more effort. Like,
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want out of your fantasy football quarterback is an interesting name.
well, I mean, do we have to bring up the first time I ever played fantasy football?
I
And
mean, I've only heard the
based it
story
on names.
47 times. But
yeah, so maybe like shut up.
All right, Abe, it's your turn.
All right, so I'm going to go. There's this kid out of South Carolina, Lenoris Sellers.
There you
Greatest
Is
go.
he
quarterback.
really into Edgar Allan Poe, you think?
Who?
In The Raven, there's all this talk of Lenore.
Okay.
And in The Telltale Heart, the heart is in the cellar.
Look at that.
So I think that his parents are really into Edgar Allan
I
Poe.
wonder if they are, yeah.
I mean, in the age of social media, we could probably ask them and find out.
I'm not going to bother him about his parents.
Lenore Sellers is a beast. He will be awesome this year. My only concern is that it's South Carolina, and if they end up with 5 losses, it won't be terribly surprising. And I haven't looked very closely at their schedule, but like, would 7-5 shock you for South Carolina? And like, maybe he produces anyway in those games, and they lose like 45-42 3 different times. But I don't know. I guess we'll see.
It's
I'm
not
excited to watch.
impossible, but, yeah.
In the same way that halfway through the season last year, it was like, ooh, Vandy's on. Let's see what Vandy's doing. I'm going into this year thinking, ooh, let's make sure we keep an eye on what South Carolina is doing.
All right, since the Big 12, you guys are locked out because you had both picked somebody, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to go outside the power conferences. Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, Maverick McIver.
What a tremendous name.
Whoa. How do I spell that?
MCIVOR.
The capital I?
That's a good question.
Thanks. All right, that's how I'm gonna. No, that looks stupid.
What do we know about the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers?
That name looks
Abe?
terrible either way. McIver.
He had a nice season last year, almost 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns. So I'm thinking, like, I don't know who they play. It can't be any good, right? So this speaks to my point earlier. Like, if they're playing a bunch of garbage teams, this guy's going to pile on the points, and I'm going to win this whole thing.
Very nice.
All
All right,
right,
so
me
what
again?
Is that 5 picks for you now?
No, I'm at 4, so I did
3.
2,
He has
so I
one
just
more.
need, yeah. So the very last pick. Yeah.
In the great tradition of names, Maddox Madsen. Thank you.
So Maddox Masson of Boise State. He has the advantage of having lost Austin Giunti to the NFL, who made up the bulk of their touchdowns last year. And apparently they brought in another top flight running back transfer whose name I don't have ready to hand. But yeah, Maddox Madsen was my number 3 pick in the group of 5. And I guess that completes our group of 5 situation. So that's me with Navy's quarterback, Blake Horvath. Abe, you've got Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, Maverick McIvor, and Lori going with Boise State's Maddox Madsen. Worth noting, 6 initials among those 3 quarterbacks and 4 M's.
That's good. Of note, none of us took this Finn from Toledo.
So I didn't have that kid. I had Caden Veltkamp from FAU as my number 2 selection in case I couldn't get Blake Horvath. And that was that's Pitbull's FAU, of course.
FIU.
Oh, is Pitbull an FIU?
Yeah.
No. What a horrible mistake I almost made.
My backup, I guess no one, there was not a lot of overlap with the outside quarterbacks. I
No,
guess
there
we could-
was.
Was there? Did anyone pick somebody?
No, I wanted Blake Horvath
Okay. I had
because Navy's
Josh
schedule's super easy.
I had Josh McCown's kid, Owen McCown.
Yeah, he was like number 5 on my group of 5 list, so he could have a good year.
All right, well, Bob, it's your turn.
My turn. I have so far taken, let's see, Cade Klubnik of Clemson, Sam Levitt of Arizona State, and Blake Horvath of Navy. I still have to pick a Big Ten quarterback and an SEC quarterback. You two have already taken quarterbacks from the Big Ten and the SEC, so it doesn't matter which one I pick next.
Well,
and
it
also,
matters to
matters,
you.
know.
I have the next 2 picks anyway, don't
yeah.
I? I'm still getting the hang of this snake draft thing. I will take from the Big Ten Indiana's Fernando
Don't.
Mendoza.
Okay.
I am excited to say Fernando Mendoza all season long. He's going to be with that feisty coach out there in Indiana, that Kurt Signetti. They put up a ton of points last year, not with Fernando. But Fernando comes in and presumably will slot right in with what Signetti wants to do on offense, and I hope that they continue to produce as much as they did last season. That wraps up the Big Ten. Those are the top 3. I had Drew Aller, Fernando Mendoza, and Julian Sayin as the top 3. Did we leave anybody out from anybody else's list who is still on the board now?
From what?
From the Big Ten.
Oh, for
Bryce Underwood, the highest paid quarterback at Michigan, just starting out.
The freshman who's making a ton of
Yeah.
money? Yeah.
That would be the one. And their schedule's easy.
Michigan's is?
Yeah.
All right, and then from the SEC, I have to choose basically. I had listed 4 here because I wasn't sure where I was going. I had John Mateer, Lenora Sellers, and then Garrett Nussmeier, of course, of LSU, and Austin Simmons at Ole Miss. He's the kid
I remember him.
who came in against Georgia when Jackson Dart got hurt
Yeah,
and
he did.
marched the Rebs down the field. They went like 5 of 6. And with a touchdown pass and had some rushing yards as well, I believe, in that one drive against the Dogs. And, Lance Kiffin knows how to get points and likes to go for big plays. I think it's foolish not to take Garrett Nussmeier because, it's not that he was great last year. And I saw something where they're comparing the years that Garrett Nussmeier had and the years that Carson Beck has had. And the feeling about Carson Beck is, Carson Beck sucks ass now. And the feeling about Garrett Nussmeier is, he might win a national title now. But then you look at their stats, and Carson had sort of a better season than Nussmeier did. And then if you take away that one weird stretch in Carson Beck's career, like he had a 3-game stretch where he
All
threw
the interceptions.
all of the interceptions, and so many of them. I mean, I know I said earlier, the interception is always the quarterback's fault, but so many of them were not Carson Beck's fault. And
It
I
was
don't
like
know.
a third of them
I
that
don't know
weren't
that
his
I trust.
fault.
I know I don't trust Brian Kelly, and I don't know that I trust Garrett Nussmeier either. I am instead going to take Austin Simmons.
All right, what you're doing
and
there
Ole Miss.
is when Georgia plays Mississippi State, you're going to have to deal with that internally.
Are we playing Miss? You mean Ole Miss?
Ole Miss, I mean, yeah. I'm playing both, I think. Like if that's what you want to do to yourself, that's on you.
All right, that happens.
Okay. Because I've intentionally avoided anyone Georgia plays. Because I care.
All right, Lori, back to you with your last pick here.
I'm picking, speaking of Carson Beck from Miami, because Duke has a harder schedule than Miami.
Yeah, I would have ended up with Carson Beck if I had had anything but the number 1 overall pick, I suspect. He was my number 2 out of the ACC and someone that I was targeting in this, but because I had the number 1 overall pick, I felt like I had to go with Klubnik.
Yeah, you
I
do.
think Carson Beck is going to have an awesome year
He
for
might
Miami.
be great. And I will have no problem hoping he wins, and I will have no problem hoping Miami wins.
Yeah.
I have, what is it? Shame? I have the thing where dignity.
What are you talking about?
I will have no problem rooting for any of these teams.
Gotcha. Abe, what is your
Except Ohio State, but fuck it.
What do
They
you
won
think
last
about-
year. Who cares?
Carson Beck's prospects here going down to Miami and replacing Cam Ward?
I think he's gonna have a great year. Basically, it was like I was thinking of him, but then I went with the Georgia Tech kid just for shits and giggles. But he should have a pretty good go of it. I mean, like the Cam Ward last year, he did pretty well down there. They have a pretty good program. Why not?
Yeah, and I still stand by all of the positive things that I've said about Carson Beck over the last 2 years, which is he can read a defense incredibly well. He can make all of the throws. This Georgia team dropped the shit out of the ball for the last 2 seasons, and I know that some people are like, well, but once he lost Brock Bowers and Ladd McConkey, he turned out to be something of a bum. It's like you are referring to 2 incredibly productive now NFL players that he was throwing to who did not drop the ball. And what that left him with was a bunch of younger dudes who did always drop the ball when they weren't driving at ridiculous speeds around the loop in Athens and getting themselves
Oh,
arrested.
stop.
So I think Carson's going to have an awesome year, and I fully expect him to be a better quarterback than anyone who was taken in the draft this past April. I still think that he's a better pro prospect than any of those dudes. All right, Abe, you
Abe's
get the
got
final
one
pick.
left.
The final pick in our draft. What conference do you have to select
The
from?
Big 12, Texas Christian Josh Hoover.
Number 2 on my list out of the Big 12. I like that pick.
The apparently there was money offered to him to leave TCU for Tennessee, and he turned it down. So he's coming in motivated. I think they get those bums that Belichick is coaching in North Carolina. That should be a gimme game. I think that team's supposed to suck, right? We'll see. He'll be able to score a lot of points. Josh Hoover.
All right. Looking at my list here of the players that remain, because I just did a top 3 from every conference. So all I've got left on my board is LSU's Garrett Nussmeier, which seems like an oversight. But the SEC does have a handful of good quarterbacks. So I don't know. Anybody else in the SEC that we left out?
Eli Manning's nephew.
Arch.
What's his name? Arch
Oh,
Manning.
Arch. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DJ Lagway of Florida,
Yeah,
who might
it'll
get
be-
injured, and
it'll-
Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
No, Diego Pavia is not going to have a statistically.
I mean, that's you asked who
He's-
we left
he's
out.
fun
That
to-
giving you the answers.
Be fun to root for, but like,
Yeah.
you're not going to have a statistically
But yeah,
meaningful
the big.
season.
I mean, it's Arch Manning that
Yeah, it's Arch
is
that
the
we
shocking
probably left out.
oversight. And if we were playing with anybody besides Abe, I bet he wouldn't still be there.
Let's see. And then in the ACC, I had Kevin
Mensa.
Jennings of SMU because SMU had a lot
Yep.
of fun last year, scoring a ton of points, and I suspect that will happen again. Let's see. In the Big 12, I had.
Darian Mensa from Duke.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds smart.
That's a good point. Big 12, I had Cincinnati's Brendan Sorsby. I don't remember why. The Big 12 was difficult to figure out who my number 3 was going to be.
Kellen Moore at Oregon.
Yeah, I never heard of that guy, but it's Oregon. It must be good, right?
Yeah, but sometimes they take a little while to figure it out, right? Like
That's
Yeah.
it took Bo Nix like a full season to figure it out up there, and then at the start of last year, Dan Lanning couldn't get that offense in gear until like the second month of the season.
That's true.
All right, so my team, just to recap, I've got Clemson and Klubnik. I've got Sam Levitt of Arizona State, Navy's Blake Horvath, Indiana's Fernando Mendoza and Austin Simmons at Ole Miss, rounding out my top 5. Feel pretty good about it. Lori, what's your team?
Julian Sayin from Ohio State, John Mateer
Yep.
from Oklahoma, Rocco Becht from Iowa State, Maddox Madsen from Boise State, and Carson Beck from Miami.
And Abe, recap.
Drew Alar, Penn State. Got Haynes King from the Rambling Wreck. Lenora Sellers, Heisman designate out of South Carolina. And then Maverick McIver, Western Kentucky. And Josh Hoover, Texas Christian.
All right, as Lori suggested, I have zero regrets about my draft. I'm super pumped. I think I did everything correct, and you guys are going to get your asses kicked. Abe, regrets?
No regrets.
Of course not.
I'm nervous about not taking the Baylor Robertson because their schedule is easier. Same with the Toledo situation.
Oh,
All
sorry.
right, well,
Whatever.
this will be a fun way to keep up with some teams that perhaps we'd be not entirely likely to keep up with as the season goes on.
Or not. You can just not. Because the stats are just going to happen whether you watch or not.
Yeah, sure.
But we're still doing the pick'em game, right? So I'm sure there'll be like an opportunity to mention how this is going while we're talking about that.
We are absolutely doing picks. I've got a line out to the Jimmy Carter's people, and though he was not ready with a pick this week, he will be back for week 1. But yeah, we're absolutely doing picks this year. Speaking of, we should pick the Dublin game as a way of
Oh, that's right.
getting things started. So Iowa State against Kansas State, number 22 Iowa State, 17 Kansas State. KSU is the 3-point favorite with an over-under in that game of 49.5 points. Abe, who you got?
I'm going to go with Iowa State.
You taking the points, or are you just taking Iowa State straight up? Because, of course, that matters. I don't remember exactly my scoring system from last year, but there's something to do with if you pick a dog, you get bonus points.
Yes.
If you
picking
pick a dog with the points, then you just get regular points.
That's right, yeah.
And then if you pick a dog that's like a 10-point or more underdog, then you get double bonus points or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll
but I think
figure it
with like double digits, you got like a booster points. I'm taking Iowa State outright.
out. Iowa State outright as the dog. Lori, which team do you
I
want?
just really hate doing this.
Oh, it doesn't matter. You got to do it.
I hope Rocco Becht does well.
So who are you taking?
The team he plays for?
You taking Iowa State?
I just
This is why we're doing this in week 0. It's just one game.
I hate
You
it
just
so
have to
much.
choose.
I don't want to.
You don't want to be conflicted, you know. You're rooting for one team to win, and you're rooting for
I'm
a player.
rooting. That's the thing. These picks don't make me want. I
Right.
just don't care. I pick whatever Abe said.
Yes, the quarterback's team.
All right. So, I mean, I obviously cannot pick Iowa State then, because then there would have been no reason to make these picks. Also, I didn't solicit feedback from the fans. So, in fact, this will just be a try. This will not count.
The fans.
To give people the opportunity to get picks in for week 1. This is how this works. I'll solidify the rules and make sure that there's an explanation of those before the picks start rolling in. I will also take Iowa State outright. Fade the points. It's totally fine. And therefore, this game won't count ultimately in our standings. So that works out just fine.
Good news for Jimmy. He won't miss a week.
That's right. I think that about does it. Let's look in on Abe's
Oh yeah.
live bet
like-
here real quick. The Colorado Rockies and the Dodgers are in action in Colorado. And the current score, oh my, the Braves are losing 10-9 against the White Sox in the bottom of the 8th inning. That's
Oh wow.
That's exciting. The Dodgers are up 7-0 in the bottom of the fourth inning against the Colorado Rockies. So Abe is off to a good start here at the start of the year.
It's a sign of things to come. I think this is going to be a very solid year for me when it comes to these things. Lock it in.
If you get out to some sort of a run here, and I think I might set aside some money in the gambling account for all of Abe Live Bets the Games, and just put $10 on every single one of Abe's Live Bet the Games, so that because I will continue to root. It'll be an emotional hedge. Yes. I will continue to root for you to get absolutely wrecked in your gambling predictions. But in the event that you actually have a pretty good year, make a little bit of money.
All right. It should be noted, I'm not getting wrecked. The teams that I lend support to are getting wrecked. I'm just, misplaced confidence is all.
All right. You've been listening to Cast Iron Balls, a podcast about sports with Bob and Abe, and Lori's here too. You can check the show out on Substack, brainiron.substack.com, for more from us, including Cast Iron Brains, which is a podcast about news and culture and whatever the fuck else we feel like yapping about. Sometimes Abe's other podcast is what I feel like yapping about.
Does the quarterback fantasy league have a name, like some fancy name, or just the...
Well, that's a good point. We didn't come up with one.
No, this is serious.
We need to. I will come up with a fancy name.
Oh, it'll be bad.
Hopefully, yeah. Also at the Substack, the Billboard Hot 100 show, where we yap about contemporary music and also the music of our relative youth, and mostly just complain about the music that we've just been forced to listen to.
By you.
By me. And then there's also, coming soon, the PK Dixquisition, which will be an exploration of the wonderful short stories and novels and various adaptations of the work of Philip K. Dick.
Dixploration would be better.
No, Dixquisition is perfect. Go. If you knew the definition of the word disquisition, this wouldn't be a problem. You would recognize immediately that it's a wonderful fucking title that I've come up with. You're goddamn right I am. That's the whole point of everything that I've ever personally branded, is to come up with something that's very slightly impenetrable so that people will be alienated from it, so they won't engage with it. But for the few who do, those who stick around, they get the most out of it.
That isn't how things become profitable.
It's how things become good, though. brainiron.substack.com for all of that. You can also check out the opening and closing themes of the show were composed by Mark Gillig of Tetramer Music, tetramermusic.com, Tetramer music.com for more from Mark. Abe, off the top of the dome, I assume you didn't prepare anything. Anything else in the world of sport that you'd like to discuss here tonight?
No.
Oh, come on. What's going on here? We've got the baseball season's happening. When does basketball start? Not till October?
Yeah, like Halloween time.
What are you talking about? College football is starting.
Shut
up about basketball. Jesus.
What's your sports media consumption these days? I do almost no extra sports media consumption besides watching the games. Right? So it used to be the case that I would watch all sorts of highlights or watch all sorts of talk shows. Like if I was in a room with a television and not doing anything else, I'd put on ESPN and there'd be yapping about sports on ESPN. I don't do any of that anymore. I don't really have even any sports podcasts at the moment because I've been alienated from the College Football Inquirer by the presence of Andy Staples instead of the dudes that I've been listening to for the last couple of seasons.
So dumb.
I mean, it's fine. Maybe I'll like Andy Staples in the long run, but at the moment, the College Football Inquirer is not what it has been, and therefore I feel slightly adrift in the world of sports media. What are you consuming?
I don't have any particular place that I go to I just watch SportsCenter and just highlights, and that's it. Not a lot of yakety yak analysis, like no podcast, no no writer that I follow. Just watch the games. Actually, it's interesting. Like the main sports I watch live. College football, basketball, NFL, whatever. But then there's this new trend. I don't know if it's new, but on Netflix and other streaming channels where they repackage actual sports and they turn it into a 10-episode behind the scenes of Formula One or some other sport that I don't care about, but it's entertaining enough to watch in a TV show format and not like actually follow the whole season, right? So
You
like,
should watch the cheerleading one.
okay, I haven't watched it. Is
called
that
Cheer.
on Netflix?
It's really good. Yeah.
Is it, okay, yeah. Basically, like, yeah, just repackage things to where I could just watch it like in like easy.
So you don't
viewing.
have you used to listen to Bill Simmons, didn't you?
Yes. So now I don't. Usually I listen to like the movie one they do, rewatchables and things like that. I listen to a lot of those like a lot of movie and TV podcasts, but not sports.
Also, didn't all of his sports interests like converged around like he would only talk about his favorite fucking things and then also basketball.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to hear Bill Simmons talk about the fucking Red Sox. That sounds miserable.
Yeah, basically it's like Homer, Boston centered stuff, and then basketball. And then he would have cousin Sal doing the lines for football when football season starts.
Yeah. Laura, you do the Josh Pate?
I do so it's a pecking order. Andy and Ari is the most important.
That's Andy Staples, who I'm complaining about.
Who's really lovely.
I'm sure he's fine. Just say it's like when you get a podcast that you listen to, there's a new host. It's like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
he's really. He's the only one of all of the sports podcasts that I've listened to. He's the one that seems like he could have done actual news, but wants to have fun.
Okay.
Like he seems like a journalist who's like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do sports because I like it and it's fun. But like he's just good at talking.
Yeah.
Him and Ari, who I call the show, if it were up to me, it would be called Feelings and Facts, because Ari Wasserman is just all feelings and Andy Staples is like statistics.
Yeah.
Ari Wasserman is unbearable to me.
He's not. He's
Does he
awful.
have a
He's just
rooting
all
interest with
feelings.
did he have a team that he's follows or just
No, he's Jewish.
Isn't he sort of an Ohio State guy?
He was an Ohio State beat writer.
Yeah, he's a fucking Ohio State guy.
But like a Big Ten guy. But
Okay.
he roots for when he has an opinion, it comes from his feelings, and he is steadfast. It's like,
The
no,
thing that
this
I
is the
can't-
best team.
Yeah, the thing that I can't stand about him in particular is he has the feeling, and then he goes out and pretends like he's found all of these objective
Yes.
facts that always end up just reinforcing or supporting
Right.
the feeling that he had
Yeah.
to begin with. Like
Yeah,
at no
he's-
point is he going to have a feeling
recency
strongly
bias.
expressed and then go do a bunch of research
Yeah.
and discover, oh shit, I was wrong, and now I have a new feeling.
You
It
don't
will ju-
know,
it will
because he
just-
does sometimes do that, and he like is upset. He's like, oh God, was I completely wrong? It's like, no, you might have been a little wrong.
Right.
But like it's recency bias and feelings. So they're fun. They're the most important. And then Josh Pate just does a nice he's grown on me. And then the people who used to do Until Saturday, Chris Vanini and David Ubben, Until Saturday got canceled, so they're doing their own thing, but it's the same show.
Okay.
It's called Bunch Formation, and they're very much still starting out, so it's a little annoying
Okay.
because they keep saying, like, this is the segment about this. It's like, I know, but every day they're getting new listeners, so they have to do that. Who else? Oh, there's one called Solid Verbal, which when I run out of more things, they're nice. I think that's it. Yeah. I
That's
listen
pretty
to a lot of color. Oh, Cole Kubelik every once in a while will do something more accessible than, because he breaks down a lot of little stuff. I really like him, but it's a little over my head. Yeah, that's
I left
my
out.
story.
There's a podcast called Waitin' Since Last Saturday, and it's got Will Leach, and it's a Georgia football centric podcast, and they just discuss. They do twice a week a game preview and then a game wrap up, and I've enjoyed that show in the past. I don't listen in the off season, so I haven't listened to it yet, but presumably I'll start picking that up when the season starts. I've enjoyed that one before. All right. I'm excited for Cast Iron Balls and the glorious return of college football. I was, just a couple of weeks ago, I was like, we really got to do football again?
Right.
It's all of this time spent thinking and doing it.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
It's
You don't have
so
to get ahead
fun.
of it. It'll be fun, yeah.
All right, Abe, have you got anything else for us tonight?
Nope.
Well, I guess that's all we've got for you tonight, then. We will talk to you next time.
Later.
The proceeding was created with 100% human content.